Hello, and welcome to the latest edition of the Pets Mag podcast. Today, I'm joined by Ben Randall, who's an award-winning dog trainer, behaviourist, author, and founder of the Beggarbush Gun Dogs in Herefordshire. Over the past 15 years, Ben has trained more than 150,000 dogs and become one of the UK's most trusted voices in canine behaviour. Ben, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Just on that number, you just said 150,000. We have looked after in excess of that in the boarding kennels.
Amazing.
Obviously, I've not trained 100 that many. I'm not
Yeah.
that I'm not that good. But yes, it's been yeah, for 17 years or so we've been running the boarding kennels here in Herefordshire. So it gives me an opportunity to see, 30 to 50 dogs every day of the week, 7 days a week.
Fantastic. That's
Mm.
that's that's such good productivity, isn't it?
It
But
is, yeah.
whilst getting such an amazing results.
Yeah.
Ben, can I start just by asking, how did your journey into dog training begin?
No, I think it began really, as I've told most people, as I was probably 35, 40 years ago when I was a young boy. I used to go out with my father wildfowling, and that was when we were out shooting ducks for the table. And that's where I first sort of got the love for dogs and the field to fork, the whole sort of countryside process, really. And I just fell in love with the actual dog bit of it, really, rather than the actual shooting and eating. It was like, wow, I can't believe this dog is going through the marshes, through the
Mm,
mud, collecting the ducks for us, bringing them back. This is amazing. They're so
mm.
intelligent. And I think I just really fell in love with that side of it. And obviously, it was our family dog as well, which made it
What
even
sort of
more.
dog was he?
Uh, she was a Labrador. So that sort of made it even more special with
Mm,
my pet and my best friend at home, coming
mm,
out with my dad and I, um, and doing what she was bred to do and what she loved
mm,
to do. So
mm,
yeah, that was very special. And I think it got me hooked.
So was that in the era of sort of Barbara Woodhouse or?
Probably all those years ago. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
imagine. Yeah, yeah. Mm.
Yeah. And can you tell us, Ben, a little bit about the Beggar Bush method? What exactly is it?
Okay, so it's more for my working gun dogs. So
Mm,
I find that about it was about 17 or so years ago, I had an exceptional Cocker Spaniel, which was competing, and I made it a field trial champion. But she was a real handful, and she was always testing me all the time. And I trained more the old-fashioned type of way, and allowing the dog to have like, a huge amount of freedom, and then trying to get the control back later on when the freedom was already there. And I got this very special little puppy. And it was exactly the same way bred as my first champion, but different. So same sires,
nice.
but different mothers. And I thought to myself, gosh, do I want to go through 3, 4 years of this again with this exactly the same way bred dog?
Mm,
And I thought to myself, I don't really want to go through that. She was always testing me, always pressurizing me. Whilst we had a good relationship, it was always a challenge, and we were all battling against each other all the
mm,
time. And I just didn't really enjoy that partnership I had with her, although I made her a champion.
mm,
So I decided to try something different. And that is where I came across my BG Foundation. So I started to develop my training when the dog was 8, 10 weeks old. They
mm,
got to 12, 14 weeks old. And I was building a complete different bond with my dogs. And this dog was improving beyond recognition compared with how I've done it for like 20 years
mm,
previous. And I was trying to develop a dog's understanding of a partnership with somebody, understanding the life's commands as early as possible.
mm,
And with puppies, they're so young, they can't really understand to retrieve and bring things back
mm,
to you and directional work
mm,
because they can't retrieve tennis balls, dummies, or
mm,
that sort of thing because they're too young. But I thought to myself, do you know what? I wonder if I could teach them all this around feed times. So I
mm,
started putting a bowl of food to the left with a couple of bits of kibble in, sit the dog up, push it left hand cast, and it did it. And I thought, right, I'm going to try it right-handed, right hand cast.
mm,
Right,
mm,
I'm going to try to send it back for its food, recall it to its food. I'm going to ask it to leave its food and come away from its food.
mm,
And before I knew it, I was teaching the dog in one feed time by splitting the food bowl. It was probably about 5 or 6 times per feed.
mm,
That's 3 times a day. So before I knew it, I was around that, 15, 20 times a day, 20 commands I was teaching that dog. So the
Fantastic.
dog now knew how to go left, right,
Mm,
forwards, backwards,
mm,
recall, walk to heel.
mm,
And it was just incredible. And I remember showing a very experienced dog trainer, and this dog was called Fatty, her nickname.
Mhm.
Um, remember showing him her when she was about 6 months old, and he had a very, very good one as well at the time. And I
So
showed
was she Fratty a Cocker Spaniel?
a cocker spaniel, yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to him, well, here she is. And I demonstrated her to him. And I said, well, let me see yours now. He said, there's no point. That's the best dog on four legs I've ever seen in my entire life. I said, yeah, it is good, isn't it? I thought that as well, personally. And then obviously the rest is history. She's gone on to be the double British Championship winner, a feat
Mhm.
that's not been produced now in excess of 50 years. So I knew that method worked, and I've used that method now for the
Mhm.
last 17 years on every single dog I've trained. I've used on every pet dog I've trained, and I remember seeing 30 to 50 dogs a day for the last 17 years. I have seen thousands and thousands of pet dogs and gun dogs.
So you'll see all sorts of breeds of dogs,
Every
ranging from
breed,
the
every
smallest, yappiest Chihuahua to,
Great Dane,
Great
yeah,
Danes.
yeah, and we have, like say, so many dogs in per day that have been trained with bribery training.
Mm-hmm.
And I just it just doesn't work. And I'm in a massive position to see that. I see dogs that have got their naughty behavior problems. They're jumping up. They don't come
Mm-hmm.
back when called. They put on the lead. They misbehave.
Mm-hmm.
And all those things are because they are being trained by maybe some lazy trainers, potentially owners are too
Mm-hmm.
busy. But a lot of them are telling me that they've gone through the village hall program of 6 weeks to 12 weeks and then another
Mm-hmm.
18 weeks
Mm-hmm.
after that, and these systems don't work. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing they don't work, and I've adapted my training and my gun dog training to help people with pet gun dogs or pet dogs to help them establish the foundations as soon as possible, and give them the opportunity to have a dog they can build a partnership and relationship with.
Mm-hmm. How would you address something as, relatively common as a bark problem?
So normally, when a dog barks, is barking for attention,
Mm-hmm.
spoilt child type scenario. You can see the owner outside; it's
How
barking at
about
them.
a dog? And I don't have anyone in mind, just looking behind me. Have a rescue dog that's been with us for a year, and she was a puppy farm survivor. And she's placid as anything in the house, but when she's outside, she's barking when she sees other dogs or just excitement, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. Well, normally that is for me. Obviously, she's a rescue dog. She's
Mm,
been in a kennel type environment where she's barked for attention,
mm,
barked for
yeah.
someone to come and help her, or someone to come seeing
Mm,
other dogs outside, being left
mm,
in that environment all the time. So that's very, very hard to mentally
mm,
understand what
mm,
they went through.
yeah.
But I would say that in a very high percentage of the time, a dog that is outside
Mm,
and then barks with overexcitement is just because it's not trained. It's not listening to you, doesn't understand the commands. It should be
mm,
leave, heel, and it should leave that situation and come straight
mm,
back to you. But it's not been taught the leave, not been taught the heel to the standard it needs to be taught. So
mm,
people say to me, how do I stop my dog barking? I said, well, barking probably isn't the problem.
mm,
It's not the actual the barking bit isn't the problem. Why is a dog barking? Well, it gets overexcited, Ben.
mm,
It gets overstimulated when it sees other dogs and wants to
mm,
chase and play with them. And that's because it's not been trained enough in the
mm,
foundation commands. It
mm.
doesn't trust you enough or respect you enough or want to be with you enough to ignore those other dogs. And remember
She's
that,
like a little limpet, though. She's very attached.
yeah, if she's attached to you,
Mm,
why would she be running and barking and trying to get and play with other dogs when she should be thinking, ignore those dogs, I want to stay and connect with you and be with you?
well, she does, but it seems to be anxiety. She will come back straight away. She's doesn't get often off the lead, but she barks at other dogs when she sees them whilst
When
she's
she,
on the
well,
lead.
she's on the lead.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
with that can be then. So that's a slightly different scenario. That can be,
Mm,
yeah, that bit of anxiety,
mm,
someone coming into our space doesn't like them, and that can be from when she's been in those
yeah.
breeding kennels, maybe. But I also tend to like to have them off the lead.
Mm,
A lot of the time on that lead, it builds up that anxiety. But the trouble
mm,
is, when you go for a walk, you don't know what dogs you're going to encounter.
mm, mm,
So I have lots of dogs that come to me which have similar types of problems. So I get them out with my dogs. And my dogs I can trust. My dogs are trained, and my dogs aren't going to cause any upset to
Yeah.
that dog. So quite often a client will come and we go into like a yard area where I know
Mhm,
it's fairly
mhm,
safe,
mhm, mhm,
and their dogs be fine, and I'll get, say, one of my Labradors out, and the
mhm,
Labrador will come out nice and
mhm,
calmly. The dog will start
mhm,
barking,
mhm, mhm,
and then we give the dog a bit of a leave command, leave,
mhm,
sit,
mhm,
and we
mhm,
take the dog away from what it's thinking about. My Labrador comes up
mhm,
to it, walks the hill around it, and within a couple of minutes, that dog's gone, okay,
mhm,
I don't need to bark with Ben at hill because I trust
mhm,
this person who's at hill.
mhm,
When I
mhm,
give it back to the client, it may bark again.
mhm,
So then that tells me the client needs to be a little bit more assertive. The client needs to be a little bit more in control of the situation. So the dog hasn't got to panic or worry. And
Sounds
then
like we need to be contacting you again,
yeah, yeah. And
discussing it more after the show.
oh, it does make a big difference. A
Absolutely.
lot of it is the owner. I'm a human psychologist and I've
Yeah.
studied that for a couple of decades now. And a lot of it is mindset of that person on the lead, who is
Yeah.
holding that lead. It makes a huge difference to a dog or a human when someone is confident that's
Mhm,
teaching them or with them, and
mhm,
you feel less, more relaxed, more calm when, when you know someone is in control and someone's sort of taking the lead for you.
mhm, mhm. Well, yeah, yeah, I try to be, but anyway, can you just discuss a standout case that you've dealt with, one you'll perhaps never forget, sticks in your mind?
Gosh, there's so many different types of scenarios. I think I had, I'm trying to think of the one, there was one chap that came here in tears. And I did actually post this quite a bit on some of my media platforms and actually on my training app.
Mhm,
And he came and it was a rescue dog. And he was at his wit's end. He'd been to multiple trainers. He couldn't get the dog talk to heel. Every time we took it out, it pulled him over 3 or 4 times. It was an older chap in his late 70s. His wife couldn't walk it anymore. And it was a Welsh English Springer.
mhm,
So,
mhm,
like what a Welsh Springer, I think it's a Welsh Springer. So, quite a big dog,
mhm,
quite a powerful dog, a lot bigger than my Springers.
mhm,
And every time we took it, it was pulling him and dragging him everywhere. So, he came for a lesson. I said, so we straight away, I said, look, leave the dog in the car. I
mhm,
need to sit down and understand as much as I can.
mhm,
So we discuss things and we talk about what he does every day, what
mhm,
training he's done before, and it was all again all like little
mhm,
sausages,
mhm,
tidbits, constantly a plop like pulling them into the dog.
mhm,
And he
mhm,
said, "Look, I go for a walk, Ben, and within 20 minutes, or say 10 minutes, of all the sausages are gone." The dog's just gone bang, 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 eating them all, and then it just wants to do its own thing. And during the time I'm actually treating it, it's
mhm,
doing the it's pulling, comes back, reward, come back, reward. And I said, well, look, you're self-rewarding for it pulling you. You're self-rewarding for it not
mhm,
looking at you. And every time it looks back, it gets it. So we got to look at a different scenario. So anyway, I took over the dog when it came here. I went outside with it and I taught it some techniques, some
mhm,
hill work techniques. And within I don't know, 10, 15 seconds. It was walking to hill with me. It was watching me. I had a bit
yeah,
of kibble in my finger on my right hand. And in the dog's right eye, it was looking across me and it was
mhm,
watching me.
mhm,
And I must have done, I don't know, 5 or 6 scenario of sort of figure eights and
mhm,
left and
mhm,
rights and backs all around my yard and then made it sit and give it a reward.
mhm, mhm,
So I was giving it a reward for a prolonged good behavior. Anyway, then I gave it to the guy. He did
mhm,
exactly the same, and I filmed him walking around. The
mhm,
dog didn't pull him once. It was on a loose lead on
mhm,
the left hand. And he literally came back to the car after, say, 10 minutes, quarter of an hour of filming him. And he was in tears. He said, I just cannot believe, Ben, this last year and a half has been
mhm,
hell for my wife and I. We adore this dog. We rescued it,
mhm, mhm,
but we just can't walk it. And then I cried. And then my wife came out and she said, what are you both crying for? And I told her the story. And then she cried. And it was like, just to change people's lives like this is huge for us.
amazing.
And that was only in one lesson. And the guy regularly see him in the village. He regularly comes back in, drops the dog in for boarding. And he just said it was just from that day, Ben, a light switch clicked. And I understood what the dog
Mhm,
needed. The dog then
mhm.
understands what I wanted it to do. And that's been it forever.
Fantastic.
I think that's probably been
It's
three or
absolutely
four
life-changing, isn't
three or
it?
4 years.
For
Of course it is, yeah.
the dog and the owner.
And they were going to have to get rid of it again and send it back to the rescue home. And
Mhm,
they didn't
mhm,
want to do it. They tried everything they could,
mhm,
but
mhm,
like I explained it to them, you cannot bribe a person to do something.
mhm,
They've got to want to do it
mhm.
and want to be part of your team.
Absolutely. Thanks. Ben, you've worked with some high-profile clients like David Beckham and Gordon Ramsay, I understand. Does training celebrities' dogs differ at all from anyone else? Your approach or?
No, it puts a bit more pressure on me. Other than that, no, it's exactly the same, and I speak to
Mm,
them identically as I would to you or any
mm,
other
mm,
person.
mm,
Um, and I think that because they can't do what you can do, it doesn't matter how successful they are, they respect you. But I
mm,
think that's anyone, isn't it? Anyone that can't do a certain thing and wants to do it
mhm,
will
mhm,
listen because they can see someone else achieving it.
mhm,
So they were both amazing. I've got many other celebrities that come to me as well, and they all respect you, understand you. I've got a dog in at the moment from a very big chef that's in here, and the dog was unbelievably bad when it arrived. It was running off. He couldn't get it back. He's posted it all over Instagram showing how bad the dog was.
mhm,
And I think I've had butter now for I think 8 weeks,
mhm,
and the transformation is incredible. And I've just been away on holiday. We closed all the kennels, and my son looked after the dog for 2 weeks.
mhm,
Sent me multiple videos per day, and you wouldn't believe what this dog can do. The way it stops on the whistle at distance, where it instantly recalls back,
mhm,
walks the hill off the lead. Um, and the owner just can't believe that it's the same dog. His wife can't believe it. It was driving them insane. They adored it. They got two young children. They take the dog out. It would pull. It
What
would
sort of
chase.
what sort of dog is it?
A cocker spaniel,
Oh, mhm.
and all it wanted to do was hunt and chase and run off for 8, 10 months.
So do you think, obviously, that the training, the ability to be trained well is sort of inbuilt in the dog's DNA almost, and you think a lot of breeds are easier to train than others. Sort of, for instance, you've got
Yeah,
collies or spaniels.
I think when some people say, wild cockers they're easy to train, they're
Mm,
not because they want to do five things: find it, chase it, catch it, kill it, eat it.
mhm,
And
mhm,
everyone that takes them for walks and just lets them off free are
mhm,
teaching them to develop and hone all those skills without knowing they're doing it. So they're letting them off the lead, they're running around, and everything's great for the first, I don't know, 12 weeks, 18 weeks, 24 weeks,
mhm,
5, 6 months old. The dog now goes, "You've taught me to develop my nose pretty well. And I
mhm,
don't really need you when I go off the lead. So I'm going to do my own thing."
mhm,
So then trying to turn that around, which is very challenging. I mean, a normal standard pet trainer would be completely perplexed. How on earth do I stop this wild animal chasing and running off? And I can't stand a bit of cheese. It will not work. It's impossible.
mhm,
The dog will have no interest at all in food or a food instant reward. This dog is no interest. All it wants to do is chase. So I remember the owner said to me, "Ben, I've not seen you take it out of the kennel or the yard yet. You keep it in the kennels." And when I say kennels, a big kennel block with a great big long corridor,
mhm,
about
mhm,
6 foot wide. So I can train indoors at night when it's raining. So it's a great environment. And I said to him, "Why would I take the dog into the paddock when I haven't got the foundation set in stone?
mhm,
So I haven't got the sit, the leave, the heel, the recall. I haven't got any contact with the dog, eye contact, or
mhm,
anything. So if it's every time I take it into that paddock, it's going to get progressively worse and compound
mhm,
all the problems that you've taught it for 10 months."
mhm.
So he sort of understood, but he wanted to see that instant thing. And that's the trouble with the human. We want that instant result, and instant
Yeah,
results don't happen. So after about five weeks, 6 weeks, then I did a 5 minute video of him, the dog in the paddock, 100 yards away, instant recall back, stopping on the whistle.
fantastic.
He was like, "Wow." I said, "Well, I could not have achieved any of this until I reset the foundations." So it's
Mhm,
like building a house. You cannot skimp on a 4 or 5 foot foundation and put a two
mhm,
foot foundation in because the walls will crack and they
mhm,
will have to be rebuilt
mhm,
and re-foundations put in. So I
mhm,
always believe that even if I have a dog that is fully trained but has issues,
mhm,
I won't go and try and sort those specific issues out straight away. I won't even look at them. I'll
mhm,
go straight back, reteach the foundations, and then 99% of the time, those issues that the owner thought had aren't happening anymore
mhm, mhm,
because I've retaught the foundation program.
mhm, mhm,
So it's so important to spend the time and effort and energy doing the boring things,
mhm,
resetting those foundations. Then you can have the lovely kitchen and all the
mhm.
landscaping, and you can do all that, but you've got to build them right first.
And what is the one thing you wish every dog owner understood?
Not to use Google,
Hmm.
but to go to someone that that is proven and can demonstrate to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I always say that if you go to a trainer, whether it be dogs, whether it be uh, you know, rugby, football, wherever it is, can that person walk the walk, talk the talk,
Mm-hmm.
and demonstrate to you?
Mm-hmm.
So if you go to your local trainer, can they demonstrate their dog doing what you'd like your dog to do? And
Mm-hmm.
normally that would mean walking on the lead or off the lead at hill. That
Mm-hmm.
would mean taking it into testing environments with other dogs, livestock, wild pheasants and rabbits and pigeons and ducks. Can they teach it the things that you want it to do? If they can't,
Mm-hmm.
and they can't demonstrate it, then they don't go to them. It's
Mm-hmm.
really simple. There are many trainers, some of them only have one old dog,
Mm-hmm.
and they say, well, there's an old dog, I can't really demonstrate it to you. It used to be able to do it. Well, no, I need to see someone that can actually physically show me that their dogs can do it and their systems work,
Mm-hmm.
or show me multiple clients on a training session doing their techniques.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a big thing. And I always say to them that you've got to go to someone that's proven somewhere wherever you are in the country. But it's
Yeah.
very hard to find because the
Mm-hmm.
internet will show you that they are exceptionally good
Mm-hmm.
without the videos.
I mean, if people can't go to you just because of location, is there anything you could suggest? A trade body organization?
I tend to stay
Mm-hmm.
away from trade bodies and organizations because
Okay.
I don't think, I think a lot of them, a lot of the techniques I disagree with because I've seen so many thousands and thousands of dogs
Mm-hmm.
being used with those type of systems that
Mm-hmm.
they just don't work. And that's,
Mm-hmm.
and people can say to me, well, Ben, I disagree with you. I said, well, you
Mm-hmm.
can disagree with me, but then you need to show me
Mm-hmm.
your dog, your system, and if I think it's good, then I use it and I'll learn from it myself.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not many organisations, unfortunately, that I think that I know of personally that I've seen. So there are organisations out there, I'm sure, which are very good, but if
Mm-hmm.
unless I've seen them and experienced them, it would be unfair for me to comment. There are online things. We've built an online training course, and we've got a new online app coming out. We've already got an app that's been out for 4.5 years and is used globally by thousands and thousands of people every
Fantastic.
day.
What's it called, Ben?
So it's called the Gundog app. And just around lockdown time, I had so many clients panicking, buying dogs like toilet rolls, as we know.
Mm.
They were buying dogs left, right, and centre for thousands of pounds. I don't know why they did this, but they did. And then all the
Loneliness, I guess.
loneliness, but who spends £3,000 or £4,000 on a dog that's worth
Yeah,
normally £1,000?
very strange times.
Very strange times for the whole world, and it was very
Mm.
upsetting because people were getting buying the wrong breeding, the wrong
Mm.
lines, and they didn't realize what they were buying because people were just selling them. So they were buying stuff that were like racehorses, and they were just
Mm.
too much for them.
Mm.
Want your little hacking horse? It was your
Yeah.
Grand National runner.
Mm-hmm.
And then they realized, well, hang on, we bought this dog, but we didn't realize, we forgot we can't go to anybody. We can't
Mm.
see anybody because we're not
Yeah,
allowed against the law. So how are we going to train this dog?
completely
So I had, yeah,
unsocialized.
yeah. So I had this guy come to me, and I was sending him loads of videos back and forth.
Mm.
And then we had a break in lockdown, and he rang me up and said, "Can I come and see you?" I said, "Well, we've got a short break. You can come in the paddock with your mask on, and let me see where you
Mm.
are."
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't believe my eyes. I said, "But how have you done all this?" He goes, "Well, all the videos you've been sending me, Ben. And when I send you a video, you do me a voiceover and explain to me what I'm doing right and wrong. And then you do a demonstration with your dog on a video. I've gone
Mm-hmm.
out and put it right."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Would you like to develop an app with me? I'm a blue chip professional. I understand about apps." I said, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
so I have no idea." I said, let's go for it."
Mm-hmm.
And that was 5 years ago. And now we've got this app which is being used, I'll say, by thousands of people every day. So there's 300 videos.
Mm-hmm.
We have a BG community, which is so special. So within the app, you have like a Facebook and Instagram that all app subscribers can use. So it's a very safe place that people can put
Mm-hmm.
something on that they've an achievement or put a post on which they're struggling with, and that all the app subscribers from all over the world would help them try and improve that dog, or I will. That's very special to have.
It is.
Yeah.
Ben, we're coming to the end of the show now. Can I finish by asking you about your hopes for dogs and their humans in 2026?
Gosh, I think the biggest thing for me is I just want people to learn to build a partnership and a relationship with the dog. So
Mm,
you're all part of a team. Now, is that any different than marrying your partner or having a good family? A good family should be a team. Everyone should work together to achieve the end goal, and
Mhm.
that's happiness, and that's enjoying your dog.
Mhm.
So for me, I think I want my clients and owners to go, right, I've bought a dog. I need to invest in it as much and professionally as I can and dedicate myself to it. If I do that, I've got a dog for a decade plus that we can all enjoy and take and experience so many amazing things with. But they're
Mhm.
not going to do that if they do it the other way.
Mhm.
So,
Thank you. Thank you, Ben. That was a brilliant answer. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. We've learned quite a lot of tips and tricks. Yeah, thank you so much.
pleasure. Your dog looks very relaxed behind you. I can just sort of make it
There's
out.
three Cavaliers.
Oh, is that on
Yeah, there's
on
two
the
over
sofa?
there. They're a bit blurred, and there's one on the floor. Um,
Isn't it bizarre that we spend all this money on dog beds and my three in the house decide to use the sofas all the time, all the
yeah,
bed.
armchairs,
Yeah,
sofas, even
yeah,
the floor.
yeah, yeah. I know. Even the
You've
cold
got
tiles on the floor. Yeah,
gorgeous, Barber dog beds, and then they're lying on the floor.
yeah. I
Um,
know, I know. But that's because we love them. I think.
Madness, isn't it?
Yeah.
Madness. Thank you.